Hi all. I had technical difficulties with my video when I tried to do a demonstration. So I'm gonna try to talk about this adapting tarot card stuff um, without doing a demonstration. I'm sorry that I can't do a demonstration. I'm just not skilled enough with camera. I tried a whole demonstration and it erased my video. So this is my second time recording this video, and if I look like a mad scientist today, it is literally the middle of the night. I wanted to record this tomorrow for the first day of Pride Month, and this is like where I have my setup, where I have a thing that holds my camera, but it doesn't work out well for what I want to demonstrate. Like I said, I lost my whole demonstration video. But anyway, I wanted to post this for Pride Month, so happy Pride Month. Basically, I do have a relative on the other side who kept saying to me, "Why aren't you doing stuff with tarot cards?" And I said, "I'm not doing stuff with tarot cards because I can't shuffle." And the thing is, I had several ways that I would shuffle when I started with tarot cards when I was younger. So I will just describe them because I tried very hard to demonstrate and the video exploded. So one way that you do it, you kind of fan out the cards or lay out the cards whatever way is easiest for you with your whatever your dexterity level is. Just make sure the cards are a little bit spread out, and then you hold your hand like so that you know that you're not like picking like by numbers or something. You hold your hand over a card and you pick the card according to, like, you'll feel heat in your hand. If you want to feel more heat, like if you want to activate this, you rub your hands together first because there are chakras in the hands. So rub your hands together and then put your hands over the cards as they're fanned out and select cards when you feel like more heat. You can also verify, like, do you really mean this card? And like you'll get a gut feeling. So that's like a way to be doing it with your chakras and verifying with your guides or angels. Another way that you can do it that I do on digital decks is like I will have like the cards in front of me and it shows like, let's say, like 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. And like I will ask my team, because there's a little prompt in my favorite deck that says, connect to your guides, ask your team. And so then there'll be something like, okay, the first card and then 3 to the left or 3 to the right, and then and maybe you pick 3 cards that way, with them telling you like 3 to the right, 2 more to the left or whatever. And that's how you pick your cards. So that's a way you can do it on a digital deck. And basically I would be able to demonstrate that if I had a better camera setup, but I just don't. So that's a way to do it if the cards are like fanned out in front of you. The other thing I would just say, like, about shuffling is like I have a new tarot deck that has become my favorite tarot. Well, it's an oracle, but it has enough cards that it could substitute for a tarot deck. And it's like my favorite. Just like I just always want to be like in the energy of this deck because it's a very liminal deck. It's called the company is called Prisma Visions, and there's a bunch of decks, and the one I really like is the Cosma Visions because it has connections to like the afterlife, and it's like the I was gonna make a video about this anyway. Like, I love this deck so much because it like really feels liminal and like as if it's like a portal. Like one of the things it says is like welcome to the portal. And like reading the book for this deck is like reading a novel. So I'm like getting every deck by this person. And it's just like the cards create like a panorama like picture as you're doing like if you align them all up together, they create like a panorama. It's just like an amazing like concept, the way the artist conceptualized decks and stuff. So I have this whole thing where I'm like always wanting to practice with it, and like shuffling hurts my hands, so I shuffle like 3 minutes a day or like 5 minutes a day, or like I'll shuffle the night before. Perfectly valid. There are tarot deck readers who shuffle before the reading. They'll even say like, I shuffled this before the reading. These are pre-shuffled, whatever. There's no one right way to shuffle. Like whatever your hands can do is still shuffling. So like basically my relative on the other side bugged me for months through other mediums, and like just when I was like just around with him, why aren't you doing tarot? And I would be like, well, because I can't shuffle. And like his whole point is that like it's like tarot is really like for everyone. Originally tarot was based on games, and it basically was like a game that became like more and more symbolic. And don't quote me entirely on that. A good source on this is Rachel Pollack, who I've been reading. So that she's my go-to, and she's who I'm reading to like learn this stuff, and I feel like she has a really good grasp on the actual real like history of tarot and everything. But I mean, so anything that your hands can do, like if you need to shuffle by fanning the cards out and slowly moving them around, perfectly valid. If you cut the deck like 6 times or 7 times and in smaller and smaller ways, like literally whatever your hands can do, it's a way to adapt tarot. Like tarot really is supposed to be for everyone, and yes, the cards are on the bigger side, but you can also get mini decks if that's a concern for you. Honestly, I never thought that I would connect to a deck the way that I have connected to this like particular Prisma Visions deck. And like again, this is not like an ad where I'm being compensated for saying this. I just like to mention like what my real influences are. But I like oh, this deck is incredible. I'm gonna keep experimenting with it. I probably will not be reading with it on the channel because it's honestly like the deck. I asked my guides to like put their energy into the tarot deck too before I would work with it. And so it's very connected to like my team, my specific team. And, you know, so that means, you know, it's not really the same as like an Archangel Michael Oracle. So I probably will not be reading with it on the channel, but who knows? I mainly wanted to say like it's possible to feel very connected to a deck. And like I am experiencing that in a huge way, so I'm glad that I persisted because and I mostly persisted because my relative on the other side would not stop saying it to me. And then I started collecting decks, and I have some good, you know, relationships with a few decks, but I've never felt anything like I felt from this deck, and I feel like I never need to get another tarot deck because I just, like, I'm getting the ones from this artist because I just want, like, his books are, like, the books that come with his tarot are, like, it's like reading a novel. It's incredible. So I just was like, I want to really, like, and I just support independent artists anyway. So anyway, yeah, I found my favorite tarot deck, and it's like a whole rabbit hole. It's an incredible rabbit hole. It feels really like liminal. I mean, so it's possible to get really connected to a deck even if you have limited mobility, and like that's perfectly valid. So any way that you have to adapt tarot, there are also large print tarot decks, which a friend let me know about. So, like, if you have limited vision, there's large print tarot. I don't specifically know the names of those decks, but they are out there. So tarot is for everyone, like, seriously. And I really feel like passionate about this now that I've found like a deck that is incredible for me. So this is kind of why I did 3 readings on the channel, and they felt powerful. Like I was moving a lot of energy when I was doing them, and I will return to doing readings at some point. But right now, I'm honestly like deeply studying the tarot, and I'm gonna come back to the readings when I feel comfortable. But I can still, teach on this channel, and like I'm I'm mainlining books on tarot and everything, and I'm studying, and mainly because like I think it's becoming like a neurodivergent thing for me right now, and that's okay. And so I'm really enjoying like studying it, but I'm going slowly through it. Like I'm really I've always like there's this book 78 Degrees of Wisdom, and I've been trying to like read it since I was like a teenager, and I have it on audio now, and I'm doing it, and I'm going really slowly through it. But I've read other books by Rachel Pollack since then, like before 78 Degrees of Wisdom. Like it was, I think, her first book, but like I've now read her later books and stuff. But I really want to understand the 78 Degrees of Wisdom from the original book. And I also have like the latest of her tarot decks right before, like that was put together right before unfortunately she has passed. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Any way that you can manipulate tarot cards is perfectly valid. Like, it's okay to shuffle the way that works for your hands and your body and your neurodivergence and your mind so that you don't get a migraine. Because that was a big concern with me. I was like, if I do a lot of tarot, will I get migraines? So there is a way to adapt it. You should adapt it to what works for you. And that's my whole thing. And, like videos like this are not going to take over the channel, but I feel really strongly about adapting techniques. So anyway, I apologize that I'm not able with my setup to do a great demonstration, but I hope this helps.